Get strong.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to this two-parter episode that we mentioned yesterday, where we are now talking about the news about the Infinity Castle arc is not going the traditional route of TV anime, but they are doing it as a movie trilogy. And this is a topic that we figure we could bring up as a discussion here on the pod. And I'm your host, Isaac Wolf, and joining me today is Jamie. How's it going?
I'm doing well, This is a topic that I feel very divided on, so I'm curious to see how the conversation will go.
And we're also joined by Dage. How's it going, man?
It's going good. This is a topic I have differing opinions personally, and looking at it as I can understand what a business would do.
Mm-hmm.
I can completely understand what you guys are talking about. And for clarification, what they did what day did they announce that they are doing the trilogy, so to speak? Was it on
It was on
Sunday?
Like
Sunday.
on
Yeah,
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah,
it was right. It
yeah.
was right after the. It was right after the Japanese premiere.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
would have been the June 30th.
Yeah.
So that news have gotten a lot of people mixed for. Should do I really need to buy tickets for three tickets to see this arc? Yada yada yada. With some, but then again, there is nothing new about anime movies per se, even though they are usually not canon. Just look at Dragon Ball and One Piece, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to start with you, Dej. What were your first reaction about the whole uh, go skipping TV altogether and putting it up the big screen?
So by the time it was confirmed, we had already heard rumors about it for I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks now. Like I feel like it was right after episode maybe 4, where um I don't know, one of the many of anime rumors websites or even just Twitter pages had put up that Ufotable was looking to make the last arc just 3 movies. So by the time it was confirmed, I had already had a few weeks to sort of sit with it, realize like, all right, well, that's just sort of what's going to happen and accept it. It personally, it's not my favorite decision. Like we were talking about in the Demon Slayer episode, I am going to miss the week to week watching. I feel like trying to condense an arc, and granted they're doing this within 3 movies, but trying to condense an arc into a movie, you lose some of the stuff. Like obviously a movie can only be so long before it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully with 3 movies it won't feel that way as much, but I do like watching it week to week versus just having it condensed down into 1, 2, or 3 movies. From a business aspect, it makes complete sense. It's the same reason why they've been doing this preseason 1 episode plus the last episode of the prior season thing. You put something in theaters, people like it enough, they're gonna go and watch it. So I fully understand what they're doing there. I don't think it's the best thing for their fans, but it does make financial sense. But like I said, outside of that, I'm definitely like, this kind of sucks.
Are you being there for day one, something like that?
Yeah, I'll definitely still be there. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but I'm gonna want to watch.
How about you, Jamie? What were your first reaction, and what do you opinion about this?
Yeah, I echo a lot of Digi's sentiments about some concerns regarding the story and how they're going to be able to like effectively tell it without it feeling like rushed or worrying about like, oh, like we only have so much time to talk about certain things or to explore certain topics. Because that's one of the good things about like TV is like, if you want to have like a character dedicated to an episode or you just get to learn about them, like you can, and then the next week you can move on to something else. But the movie, it's a little bit different. um so I do have that concern. I also don't I am excited to see that they made the decision to turn this arc into 3 films. Mainly because I know that the animation quality will continue to be as great as it has been, and I know that them adding a film to the beginning of the past like two seasons has been really helpful for them as far as making sure like the budget stays up, that they have enough time to work on these episodes and make them as like polished and like beautifully animated as we've come to expect from Demon Slayer. I don't like the aspect of like again like what Did was saying, like having to like pay that theater ticket, like pay for 3 different tickets, possibly wait like who knows how long between those movies as well. I don't think they're gonna drop them like all 3 at the same time or even like within like a close time frame. So it's, I think, an opportunity for UFO Table and for like the Demon Slayer as a brand to kind of elevate itself and give itself kind of like an Avengers like Endgame or like Infinity War moment. And maybe encourage people that have been like slacking on the anime or just haven't known about it till now to catch up and then get excited for like this big animated event or like 3-part event. Um, but really, like the thing that I'm not happy about is really just having to pay that theater price 3 separate times, knowing that this movie will inevitably come to like Crunchyroll or to like streaming like pretty shortly after its theater run. Yeah, I would feel a little bit better about it if Crunchyroll is like, hey, like for our subscribers, like people that have been supporting us and supporting Demon Slayer, like you can have like a discount or like even a free bucket of popcorn. Like I would take that.
I mean,
But
to that
yeah,
regard, though, it's not like Crunchyroll is putting on the movie. To be fair,
they're not. But it's like they're. I don't know. Are they the only place where you can watch Demon Slayer? I don't think so.
no, it's on Netflix
Yeah,
and on I would assume it's on Hulu. I have no idea on that one, but I know for sure it's on Netflix.
Uh, well,
but those arcs comes months
For sure, they
after.
definitely come
yeah.
later.
It's the main. It's like the main distributor. When you think of like big anime or even Demon Slayer, you think of like Crunchyroll being associated with
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
So
I
it'd be
mean,
nice for
animation
them.
isn't that thing anymore. So
No, I mean, well, who knows? That's another topic in itself. But it would be nice for them to do something like that for the fans, especially or even if like, the ticket it just has reduced price because they're like, we know you're gonna come back for the other 2 parts. Like, I would take that as well. Um yeah, that's pretty much my main point of like is contrition a word? Is that the right word? That's my main point of I guess being slightly upset about this. Otherwise, I'm excited to see like the animation, like what they do with the story. Hopefully they're able to effectively break up this arc into 3 parts, which I'm curious how that's going to work as well. I feel like breaking something in half, you usually can find a midpoint. Breaking something into 3, unless it was intended to be that way, it could be a little weird. But we'll have to see.
I mean, as we talked about in the previous episode, they made a good. They were did some good job with filling in the episodes for the Hashira training arc, which is in a fairly short arc, and they managed
It's true.
to make it feel like it were part of the manga. So maybe they are doing something similar to that they are adding in so that it fits feature length, but they can cut it in 3 movies. I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean, I can totally see where you guys are coming from, and honestly, I am sort of like the same because I'm used to it being day one coming to okay, maybe not day one, but it's pretty much come to Crunchyroll as a show.
Right.
So I'm
The
just
subscription you already pay for as
yeah,
well.
the subscription I'm already pays for.
Hmm.
But then again, if and I know that I will sound like a shill here, but I'm just wanna say from a different perspective. But shouldn't we take a look at? Couldn't we say the same for Disney then with Marvel, since it's putting it on Disney Plus? We're paying for that. Um, or is it just because we are used to Crunchyroll getting it the same day and date, so to speak, and cutting it out,
Um,
so to speak?
that's an
Or do you have
interesting
more?
question.
Is it just a question of being used to it that makes our questioning this, or not? I mean, I do feel annoyance. Don't get me wrong, but it's
Yeah.
something that it comes to mind because we, as a human race, don't like when stuff sh- uh, changes drastically from time
Right.
to time, and this is arguably a massive change for the franchise as a whole within for its anime. I
Yeah.
mean, and who knows, maybe some other animes will take notes from this with UFO table and see how it succeeds. And yes,
Hmm.
oh, that one can end, and it's run with movies. Oh, why not do that ourselves then? I
Hmm.
mean, Chainsaw Man is having an arc for the Reeves arc, which is the upcoming in
Hmm.
the Chainsaw Man manga. Granted, it's a fairly short arc, but even still, so was the Hashira training arc,
Yeah.
and that one was on television and fill in with the episodes and all that jazz.
Hmm.
So,
I feel
um,
like, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I feel like the difference between like what's happening with Demon Slayer and the model that Marvel's kind of adopted is anime has traditionally things have definitely changed, but traditionally it's just like come to like Crunchyroll or when Funimation exists, Funimation or wherever whatever anime platform that you might be watching. Um, and now we're come to a point where in Demon Slayer, um, they're asking us to like go out into the theaters. Granted, before this point, they said like, hey, you could go like have a theater experience, or you could wait a month, maybe 2 months, and then you could just watch it at home like you've been doing with anime. Whereas with this, they're asking people to go out to the theaters on three separate occasions to see the conclusion of this really big show. I do think that the movies will come to Crunchyroll at some point. I don't know how quick that might be, but when looking at Marvel, like Marvel, it's traditionally been like you go to the theaters for like this. As Marvel has like grown, it becomes like an event. Like the next Marvel movie is coming out, and then afterward, after it's been a while and it's had its run, it'll come to Disney Plus. So, it the difference for me is just that they're trying to make us change this behavior that we've been used to, which is like sitting at home watching anime or like going to your friend's house, whatever, to now going out to the theater versus like Disney or Marvel. Like we're used to going out to the theater to see like Marvel or whatever it might be. And maybe you could argue like, oh, the shows, these shows you could watch at home. So maybe that's a little bit of a behavior change. But for the movies, for every Marvel movie that they've released outside of maybe Black Widow, I think was the only one that they put on Disney Plus at the same time. But I'm not sure
They
about that.
did. It
Yeah.
did the whole. If you
Yep.
want to watch it at home now, you have to pay a premium price, but it's free once it leaves theater, which is honestly not. I might get flack for it, but I honestly don't think it's a bad idea considering how people there is less people going to the theaters in these days, and these day and dates for HBO that they did a while back was just stupid in my book. But I digress.
There are less people, but I also think that, and this is a part of a wider conversation, just that all these studios and these publishers, they're kind of encouraging that behavior at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
especially like the past couple of years. Like a movie will be out in theaters for like maybe a month or 2 months, and then they'll announce like, oh, this movie's coming to streaming next month though. So I can almost guarantee the sales for the rest of that like campaign that movie might have is just going to immediately drop because people are like, why would I go to the theater where I have to pay like $20 for a ticket when I'm already paying for the subscription? I could just wait to watch it with my subscription of like, it's probably the price of the ticket at this point. But you're already
That's
paying
fair.
for it. You can stay at home, watch in the comfort of your home, don't have to deal with other people. So
I
it's
know
it's weird.
my dad is yes, it's just like that. It took me. I managed to get him to watch it, but it took some effort. I got him to see Dune 2 with him, and he says that it was worth the money, even
Yeah.
though he's usually as I can just wait for it to come streaming.
Yeah, and I it's weird because I feel like movie theaters are becoming a lot more niche with the accessibility that streaming has provided for a lot of people. So that's not something that I have against like the Demon Slayer movie in particular, but just something that I don't know. It's a very weird thing that's going on with how we support the film industry and movie theaters.
What
Yeah,
about you, Dej? What are your thoughts of it all?
I Jamie's right. This is a larger conversation. I actually just posted something similar about this with Quiet Place. That movie came out on the 27th and it's hitting streaming according to some Amazon Prime ad on July 30th. So you gave it essentially 33 days, give or take, to be in the theaters, but then at the same time the cry is, well, why aren't people going to the theaters? Why are movie theaters dying, so to speak? And it's like, well, that's why. Why would somebody who wants to go see a Quiet Place in the theaters, what's the point? I can wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, and now I can watch it at home.
Mhm.
So I think that also influences how I reacted to this Demon Slayer news, where this is something that's going to get people into the theaters, and I do think that theaters are important.
Yeah.
Um, I can understand a fan being a little upset because not even just a little upset, just upset in general because a story that they were able to see, I can't necessarily say for free because you're paying for Crunchyroll, but you were able to see from the comfort of your home. Now you have to venture out in order to see, the conclusion of it.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not gonna sit here and grandstand and act like they were doing it for some artistic or some major reason. They really, obviously, they just wanted more money. We all know that, and we're not gonna act like it's not the case. Um, but I am always harkened back to some of the theater experiences I've had for movies that are really good. Um, and from what we saw with the ending of just this last arc, I'm hopeful that the trilogy of movies is going to be they're going to be something that'll give you that theater experience that I think is still unmatched. Like I said, watching from home and everybody watching at the same time and getting on Twitter is one thing, but Jamie and you and I have talked about it before. Sitting and watching Infinity War in theaters, or sitting and watching Endgame in theaters with other people, where you can literally just turn to somebody who you never knew
Yeah.
and being like, "Yo, this is insane."
I almost fell out of my seat. Literally
It's
almost fell.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful because we're going to get three chances at something like that. Maybe we do get a. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to stop between 1, 2, and 3,
Hmm.
but I know that there are technically two arcs left. Like it's the final battle arc, but I
Hmm.
know there are two, I guess, sort of mini arcs underneath it. So maybe the first two movies are telling that first arc, and the third movie is telling that last arc. And so that gives you the chance to have that extended, like I said, to harken it back to Avengers, the Infinity War Endgame sort of reaction. And I'm granted looking at it at glass half full. I'm ecstatic to see what that's going to be versus sort of just being completely disappointed that I have to go pay 3 times. I go to the movie enough that even if I didn't have to give it for Demon Slayer, I was gonna give it for some other movie.
That's fair.
Do you guys think that this will sort of like give? We all know how companies look at it and as, oh, this was successful. Let us get some piece of this pie also. And do you think other animes adaptations will stop with the movies due to this? And what is that one of the reasons you are not so keen of the idea, so to speak?
Um, haven't really taken any other anime into consideration when just thinking about, I guess just my thoughts on how they're going forward with the end of Demon Slayer. Do I want this to be a pattern? Not necessarily. Like, I would be cool with it if, like, people that want to see it in theater, they can. If not, wait a month, wait 2 months. It'll be on Crunchyroll, and
Yeah.
they'll continue with the anime. Because that's typically what I've done. I think I've been to the theater to see the most recent Demon Slayer film. But outside of that, I don't know. I also feel like anime movies to me are like special events, like they don't happen super frequently. So like when a Dragon Ball Z movie came out, I'm like, oh, I know this is gonna go super crazy, it's gonna be amazing, all of this yada yada. To make that like a more frequent event, at least for me, and I feel like maybe some of the older anime fans, it might make it a little less special. Um, but I can totally see this being a thing. The only thing is, I feel like you have to be really confident that your anime is going to like take off and soar. Because even with Demon Slayer, like I knew people really enjoyed the first season, but if you had told me at the end of the first season that they were going to make a movie and it was going to be like super successful, like I wouldn't have necessarily been like, no, no way, I don't believe you. But I would have been like, uh, maybe. I don't know. I think the first Mugen Train is really where Demon Slayer started to like pick up steam, slightly pun intended, and kind of like take off there. So I don't know if it will become super commonplace because it is a risk. But yeah, that's kind of my position on it.
It's funny that you mentioned Dragon Ball and other anime movies, sort of like Spy Family that we did a month back or a couple of months back,
Hmm.
because I did a double check and we don't even have. We have superheroes, which was the recently released Dragon Ball movie, but we don't have, for example, Broly, which makes no sense in my book. But and then there seems to be with the One Piece movies, it's only One Piece Red, as far as I can see, if even that.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Granted, I guess the if you want to say it, the bright side of it is that like you were saying earlier, like those films usually aren't canon to like One Piece, so you don't have to watch it to like get what's going on in the anime. But if they're going to take the Demon Slayer model where these movies are going to be canon, then they have to find some
Yeah,
way to make sure it gets on a streaming platform at the very least, if not on Crunchyroll.
yeah. The worst part is with Broly, is that it is technically canon to the manga, even though they aren't covering it in the manga, unlike superheroes, which
Hmm.
makes uh, to make it brief, I mean, Broly is part of the main force right now in the manga.
Right.
So, but
You can watch
yeah,
that on Crunchyroll, by the way.
Broly.
Yes.
Okay, then it's not on Swedish Crunchyroll. That's
Huh.
weird.
Oh,
I
interesting.
I double checked, and we only have superheroes.
You can watch that on Crunchyroll and on Hulu.
We don't have Hulu here.
Fair.
Mm.
The
Um,
one thing we have with one thing we have with the Hulu in question we have here is stars for Disney Plus. We
oh,
have the
is it?
stars section.
I wonder would it be on that then? It sounds, and I don't know for sure, but it always sounded like it was like the equivalent of the Hulu here. But I can understand where you guys are coming from with actual canon stories. Um, it's tough with anime series to movies just in general because my immediate rebuttal to that would have been, well, there are animated movies or anime movies even particular that they come into theater and you just have to either rent it or buy it or whatever if you want to see it after the fact. Like the Studio Ghibli
Mhm.
movies come to mind. But
Yep.
to your point, those aren't a part of a larger story.
Hmm.
Like obviously, if you're going to watch Spirited Away, you have to go buy it, rent it, or hope that it's on some streaming platform. But it's not because you saw the first 25 episodes and episode 26 was a movie. So
Yeah.
I do understand that. But I don't know. Like I said, overall, just to me personally, I just always go back to I think the theater experience is something different. It does suck that we got 90% of a story and the last 10% is like, well, you have to see it here or you're going to be waiting.
Hmm.
And to your question, I know it wasn't necessarily just like to your thought about, well, I don't know how long I'm going to wait. I don't think that like I'm trying to remember if the Digimon Adventure 2 movie. I don't think that that's on anywhere streaming. You can rent it places,
Hmm.
but to your point of, well, when am I going to be able to see it with this subscription that I pay for? I don't know. I know, like I said, I know you can rent it. I don't even know if the Last Evolution is somewhere streaming.
Mm. Dang.
And that movie came out. I thought it was either during the pandemic or right before it. It was 2020 for sure.
That's just weird. You would think that how they are able to simulcast the shows, that it would be easy to get the movie license.
No, it's not on Crunchyroll. I don't think it's anywhere. Um, I think you can just. I know it's like $20 on. It might even be cheaper now. On Amazon or whatever. It's like to buy the actual physical copy. But yeah, I mean, it's the issue of that is just always anime rights are so tricky, especially
Yeah,
outside of Japan,
Hmm.
that it's tough to put the onus on one company. Like, I don't think that obviously it wasn't Crunchyroll's decision to make these movies. Um, and so who do you punish for that? Like, who do you go, man? Why'd you do this? Um, if you go to the animation companies there, I know there are a ton of. I feel like you always hear about anime movies going in Japan.
Hmm.
Just you know,
Yeah.
they end up just getting released here strictly to a streaming service or strictly to DVD. So it's like that's where I'm also kind of like, what do you do? What's the answer here? Because who are you really putting the onus on right now?
Sony need to step up their game and make a proper work of getting the licenses for the movies at this point.
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. You know,
And
the
Disney, depending if with stuff like slash Disney and Netflix, because this
It,
would be just the dark age from the 90s, early 2000s, like we have earlier with watching Naruto on 11 minutes YouTube clips, considering you didn't have anything else anywhere else to watch it.
yeah.
I mean, it should. To be honest, it should be Crunchyroll. As much as we don't want them to have the monopoly, but it's like you're owned by a Japanese company. Even though
Yeah,
you are strictly like, I think like Crunchyroll as a business might be like headquartered here. You are, because of your parent company, a Japanese company for all intents and purposes. I think underneath them, Aniplex also owns a portion, which I'm not 100% sure if
and
they're.
Aniplex is producing Demon Slayer, which makes this even more.
Mm, yeah, so they're part of the committee.
Yeah, so it's that like Crunchyroll should have it. It just,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's
like we were saying from the jump, this is just a larger conversation. It's not just about this movie.
Yeah.
Um, to is it the right move or not? Depends on who you're asking, in my opinion.
So, would you go see like a Glass of God movie?
What's the story? Like, I think
uh,
that's what it always depends on.
is that
What's
the
the
new bartender
Yeah, the
show?
That's, yeah,
bartender show.
bartender glass of God. It all, like I said, I know you were saying that you don't like to have to go to the movie to see something like, I guess, the continuation of the story. And I might be dumbing it very much. You definitely said it
Yeah,
way more
it's like
nuanced
I'm
than I
gonna
did.
go, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
So I don't have that same feeling.
Mm,
Because even if, like, to Isaac's example earlier about like the Marvel shows,
yeah,
I remember so many times being like, man, this is gonna be cool when it hits the big screen. Because going from TV to big screen always screams bigger budget, larger,
yeah,
so much more. So for me personally, I'm not even thinking about the, oh man, I'm going to have to pay for the tickets 3 times. Again, like I said, I go to the movies enough that I'm probably going to somewhere pay for those 3 movies. And
yeah,
I know so it just is what it is. My thing is just like, man, this is going to be the same, but on a much grander scale, a much better scale.
yeah.
Again, glass
I
half
hope
full,
so.
glass half full. You know,
I hope so. And that's the other thing. I think earlier you were thinking, or you were saying that, this is an opportunity for them to make like three really great movies. Then like The Little Devil on My Shoulder. We were talking about Demonic last episode. The Little Devil on My Shoulder is like, this is also an opportunity for them to make three not so great movies, or maybe two good movies and one bad movie.
so
So
I will say I enjoyed the Mugen Train movie
yeah, I don't
over.
think they would make a bad movie, but there's still risk. It's risk
It
with
is, it is. That's with any movie. So
yeah,
that's fair. But I don't know. We'll never know until we get to it.
that's true. I mean, I know I've been like, I don't know, not so much advocating for I guess this model, but I just want to put it out there. I am gonna go see the movies. I am excited to see like the finale of Demon Slayer. I just would have preferred a different vehicle, but I can't do anything about that, so I gotta make do.
I
Then
get you.
now, now begs the question from what you guys think. How do you think they will space this thing out, and when do you guys think we're going to see the first movie? Sort of like that. Are we going to do the Marvel route and
Mm.
have one a year,
Oh
one
my.
each 2 years? Because the seasons have been yearly, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's my other thing. Like, if you space this out in a span of 3 years, I really hope that the other movies come to streaming. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to remember all the stuff that's happening. Which I'm sure like the online discussion, everything will be there. So like, it won't be top of mind, but there'll be some things to hang on to. As far as when it'll be released, I don't see why they couldn't do like next summer or maybe even fall if they wanted a bit more time to release the first Demon Slayer movie. Um, I don't know if this was like, I would hope it's not a sporadic decision and something that they've been thinking about for a while. So I don't see why they couldn't keep with the same cadence of, like around a year's worth of time before the next part comes out.
To answer that first question, they were by year. This is the only one that was a year after the last arc, and makes sense. This is these are the shortest two arcs. The first season came out in 2019. Second season was 2021. Third season was 2023. So, again, like I said, these are the shortest
the
two.
Movie. When did the movie come out?
The Mugen Train movie was 2020.
So
is it? I mean, we're still talking 2 years in between 2 and 3 then.
But the movie was a part of that next piece.
No. 2 and 3. 2 and
oh, well, 2 and 3. Oh, yeah, 2 and 3.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's
2 and 3.
It just so happens, like I said, that this one it's the shortest arc. So ideally I was saying next fall. Like I would hope they would do fall, spring, fall. So you go next fall, then spring of 2026, fall of 2026.
Oh, that's a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I would like that.
Ideally, I mean, you got to figure that hopefully they've already started working on it. Like
hopefully,
I'm hopeful. I don't know for sure if they have. I can't imagine them going to 2027, 2028.
Luckily, at least Ufotable doesn't have as much on the table as Mappa does, so they don't overwork their animators. And just no, I have to do that one. If I'm not mistaken, they did Jujutsu Kaisen 0 in about 4 months. So, and I doubt that will happen here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hopefully.
But I hope you guys is spring next year, fall next year, spring and the year after that. Or
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Spring, fall.
Wait,
sorry. Fall, spring, fall. So fall next year, spring of the year following. So fall 2025, spring 2026, fall 2026. I think that's the ideal.
I would almost push winter 2026.
I mean, if we're talking months, I was going March, October. So
I feel like you push to maybe November-ish.
1 more month, sure. That's fine.
Why specifically November, though?
I feel like, it's the holiday season. People already spending money. What's a movie ticket? And, like you'll have the family together. So it'll be an opportunity to have like an even like bigger crowd come. Cause like, Mom, Dad, I want to go see Tanjiro do XYZ. It's like, okay, let's go. Or maybe it could just be like, bro, let's go see Tanjiro X, Y, and Z. And he's like, all right, bro. And then it happens like that. So maybe you could get some bigger groups together because people go home for the holidays or just are around people that they care about. So maybe it could be a family event.
You have a point there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if October is that much of a difference. That's sure.
Nobody thinks of the holidays in October. They got Halloween. Halloween is like
people start their Christmas shopping in July. They're thinking about holidays come October.
Wait. What?
Yeah, there's a huge contingent of people who start their Christmas.
I would say that's a niche community. It's a niche community.
I don't think it is. There's a whole reason there's a thing called Christmas in July. Like people are thinking about the holidays.
I mean, people say that, but I also like the movie industry. Like when I was interning at When I was interning at a audio house, I was there during July, and they were recording voiceover for Christmas movies. So that could also be part of it, because like they got to get the Christmas movies ready for Christmas time.
That's because people are already thinking about the holidays. I'm telling you.
No.
Once it hits summer, it's like, all right, what we got? 4th
Like,
of
damn,
July.
it's hot. I wish it was winter.
I feel like I honestly like. I know I'm joking about the Christmas in July, but I really do think after Labor Day, it's just like, all right, well, get ready for the holidays. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas will be here before you know it. Like you said, Halloween is a thing, but I feel like Halloween is more so a thing if you have kids, or if you're still in the age of going out and going to party.
Yeah. Or if you like buying candy on discount after Halloween.
That's fair. I don't know if they're thinking about the holiday for that though. They're just like, all right, candy
hey,
day.
almost discount day, almost.
No, I learned something new about your holiday plannings in the US.
Oh, I don't plan my Christmas shopping in July. I do my Christmas shopping like December 12th. Like,
dang, ain't nobody getting nothing.
I will admit I'm doing it in November myself, but
I take notes
early.
all throughout the year. I'm like, oh, they said they needed this thing.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
I'll do that.
Is
that's not the shopping though in my mind. I'm talking about the actual purchasing of the gift.
Shopping in a way,
Okay,
you're making notes.
Notes. Then it's I
don't buy it until holiday time though.
But no, then it's starting like Mother's Day, because I'll hear what my mom say, like, oh, this will be nice around Mother's Day. And then it's like, oh, okay, that didn't get off the list. Okay, cool. That might be a Christmas thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same for my dad for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Then my brother, I just straight up ask him, what do you want? I'm not gonna lie. I just go, yo, send me a list and I'll pick something off of it.
I'm gonna send you a list. Got you. Yeah. Yeah, perfect timing.
That's an easy way to do
it. Go ahead, Isaac.
I was just gonna say, do you guys have anything other on this topic?
No, man. I love anime movies. I'll continue to watch them. Would I like to keep a little bit more money in my pocket? Sure, but I'll be at the theater.
Yeah,
one less 20 in my wallet.
It's 20 for you. Ooh.
Yeah, it's high. It's high over here.
I forgot that's the New York prices. I go matinees on Sundays, so
even the matinees are high. It's still like 15.
Wait, did you say 20?
Yeah, $20.
Woo! I mean, that's if I go on like a Thursday or just anytime after hours. It's that.
For me, it's about 10 when I go.
That's
to
it.
See Demon Slayer.
Seriously.
Pay for the whole flight just to watch the movie for $10.
Just to watch it. Whoa.
10 to 13 depending on the movie. It's for me.
No, it's about 18 on most days. So not too much cheaper. But then, like I said, I try to watch as many as I can, either Saturday or Sunday, for matinees, which will take it. It's not like it's taking it down to anything crazy. It takes it down to like 15. So
yeah,
every dollar helps though.
It does.
But no, and just to the conversation at large, like I said before, I think this is emblematic of a very larger conversation, just in regards to what does the theater experience mean today.
Yeah.
And I think this is just another in a very long line of what's probably going to continue. Maybe not in the sense of, oh, the finale of this anime will only be able to be seen here, but in the aspect of anime may start to blend. You may get season 1 as TV. Then you go watch seasons 2 and 3 on on the movie screen or whatever. So
You know,
I
anime
feel
could save the movie theaters. Who knows?
look,
Because
you get
I'm
enough.
wondering, like, I don't know. I know here, like, people talk a lot about the peril of the movie theater right now, but in Japan and like other countries, is that the same issue? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, we don't, it doesn't. It isn't a big topic here in Sweden, at least, and I have noticed that post-pandemic, with some exception, there is always about half full for any movie I have gone to, no
Mm.
matter what,
Hmm.
and no matter any day. The one that had the most people was interesting enough Spy X Family.
Mm. Maybe anime will save the theaters. I don't know.
I'm
I mean,
curious.
I've heard that someone said. Uh, I heard someone said that. What was it? Anime and horror will save the theater industry. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, maybe so. There's a lot of horror that's been coming out, and people go out to see it.
Yeah, I was looking at the global box office for all as much as um. Oh, no wonder it's so much behind. I was gonna say, theater box offices were up 30% from 2022 to 2023,
Mm.
but that's still 15% behind the average of the last three pre-pandemic years.
Mm.
So it's I think a lot of it is, especially with how much of the box office here is so much of like just our overall economy. Like entertainment reaches so much,
Hmm.
and that 9 billion, that's what they say is the number for North America. At least I don't know how much it is just US specific, but let's say or probably at least half of that. That 4 billion encompasses so much because that's just the theater price. Like that's just how much you're going to get tickets. Rather, that's not really telling you how much is being spent to get that 4 billion. So I think that's why it's such a big deal here, where it's like, yeah, we're making money. We did better than the year before, but pandemic really did a number on us.
Yep.
And I feel like that conversation, I don't know if that's ever going to end. Like you guys were saying earlier, it's the nature of so many people would rather wait for a movie to come home and watch it there, whether it's on streaming or whether they rented it or bought it,
Hmm.
than to venture out and go to a theater where you're not only paying for the ticket price, but you're paying for those concession prices.
Yeah. Unless you sneak in some food.
Yeah,
I snuck in some ice cream last time I went.
I just carry my bottle of water with me and keep walking.
I've never tried to just like, walk in with something.
I
Never
just keep
tried it.
I just keep walking. I'm not going. I don't ever. I also really only always bring in a bottle of water. Like I'm
Mhm.
not the person who's like, oh yeah, let me get me a whole meal from
Oh
McDonald's
yeah, I know.
Culver's or something.
I like
I,
popcorn. Popcorn is hot.
it is,
I
but like,
don't.
yeah,
I don't think they care enough about stopping you with a bottle of water.
well,
It's another.
I've
It's
definitely got a
another
hey,
thing.
hey.
It's another thing if you would try and sneak in with soda or candy or
Yeah.
something either.
Ice
But even
cream.
then,
I had ice cream. I had a churro. I brought a half a quesadilla.
Oh,
Uh,
Jamie, she a rebel. I walk in with one of these.
I like we lucky they don't have food detectors because I walk in and go boo boo boo. Like, ma'am, what is that in your purse? Like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just the leftovers. It's fine.
Just some leftovers is crazy.
But yeah, those are the good conversation.
It was. It
yeah.
was. It,
Oh wait, before we end it, Isaac, you've asked us about our opinions, but how do you like feel about it? Like I know you expressed some similar sentiments, but did you have anything else to add on to what's been said?
The only thing I'm asking for, Sony, Aniplex, be better in putting the movies on the streaming service for those that are unable to go to the movies.
Yeah,
I get
I
it
agree.
that you want to do end it off with a bang, but everyone are not able to go to the theaters, be it from a economic or health perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true.
it would be cool if maybe they had it where you could go in theaters, but they also had like a digital option where you could rent it. Granted, that rental price would have to be kind of crazy to justify not like letting you rent it at the same time as it's in the theater, but at least it would be an option and like a little bit more accessible.
That's sort of like that's honestly my biggest problem with this. It's the same thing with um, probably the same thing with every movie, anime movie. They are so bad at putting it on the streaming service afterwards.
Yeah.
Which, at least the ones like well, One Piece Red, Code White, all those are at least non-canon. So it's there is that at least.
Hmm. Yep, I gotta figure that out. Especially if it's gonna become a more frequent thing.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's my last point of that whole thing. But with that said, Didge, where can people find you?
You can find me at dig_DEE at all places and also over there on the Geek Set podcast, where again we are doing the last stretch of our Black Geek documentary. There are a bunch of ways that you can support. Just head on over to our page and you will see. I feel like I said last time, we've talked about it enough. I'm going to let the people talk now, and that's where you will see the various people who we have worked with and will continue to work with show why you should be ready for the Black Geek documentary.
Is there something you have worked on for a long time or stuff like
Yeah,
that?
this has been like 2-3 years in the making.
Oof.
It's
Sort of like a
yeah.
passion project then.
Yeah, we're trying to do it right. We didn't want it to be a just like almost like a vlog style documentary. So like we have a full director, full editor. We went places for we spent the past 2 years doing the conventions, just sort of to get the people aspect of it, and then this year has been sort of the hero interview. So that's where we're reaching out to a bunch of people, a bunch of celebrities, whether they're from like their current voice actors or they were prior, just working prior. It's like people from your childhood even to now, just to understand how just sort of geek culture has evolved from when my brother was a kid to when my nephew was a kid, and that's a span of almost 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, well, look forward to that, people. And Jamie, what about you? Where can people find you?
I'm not working on anything as grandiose as what did you mention? I stream at Cypher_Prime. I've been playing Final Fantasy 7, and on the YouTube channel I've been playing through Ocarina of Time. Um yeah, that's what I got.
Oh my god!
that sounded that sounded really depressing with the way you worded it.
I mean, like, it's hard to follow up after that.
Yeah, I guess fair, but still.
It's okay.
Uh,
I've
I'm
been
gonna
watching your Ocarina of Time videos with bated breath.
Me too.
What do you mean you two? You should have looked me.
Sometimes I'm watching the film back and it still gets scared. They're like as a surprise.
Okay, okay.
okay, okay, that's fine.
That's fair. I'm
Yeah.
shocked still, but
That was just so random hearing.
Yeah. That's fun. It's a
But
good time.
well, you can you can find me over here at the woman. No woman. Sorry. You can find me here at the Amateur Taco Pod. You can find my writing at the Wolf Writes. I'm working on a video review of the Shin Megami Tensei 5 also, which will be quite a challenge, but bye. But we also did as mentioned before, we did a sort of like a review of season the Hashira training arc, and we also did recently an episode of Kaiju number 8, the season 1 review earlier this week. So hope you guys will enjoy those. Have enjoyed or enjoy those if you missed those.
Yeah.
But anyway, have it awesome, y'all. Please like, subscribe, and comment.
Bye. See you next
Hey.
time.
See you next time.
See you later.